Yeah, Sally, I just want to say phenomenal work you're doing.
Thank
What a heartfelt process you've gone through to make this
you.
all happen. And a point of curiosity, how
Yeah.
many male mediums do you have?
Yeah, that's interesting. We're starting to pick up on the numbers. I don't know exactly because it's not something that we ask at registration.
Mhm.
We don't ask, both for mediums and for clients, we try to ask as little personal information as possible, but still enough for the mediums to keep them responsible. So I don't know exactly, but I do know that we have a lot more women than we have men. And
Sure.
I know that we have at least 100 men, but we have 2,500 mediums. So,
Right, right. So
but
that's a small fraction. Yes.
yeah, but the word of mouth is getting out among men because as I'm watching new registrations come in, the percentage of men is going up, or the percentage of male names, male sounding names. That's the best I can do.
Yeah. I want to honor you for the work you're doing. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
And
Sally has something.
well, and I'll just say real quickly, only because I did get on your platform for a few months. Gosh, it's been a couple of years ago now, I think. It was pretty early on in your development process, but it was already a very easy to use platform. It was great for me, even though I stayed on for a short period of time, I just needed a brush up. And so, if you've been away from it for a while and you just want to practice for a bit, it's okay for that too. But if you do follow the whole program, I mean, you're definitely going to get the skill sets. I have, full confidence. And I'm very, very pleased to see how well you have distilled all of essentially the data you have developed over the process of doing this, because you're describing beautifully the process of developing mediumship.
Mhm.
And it takes a breadth of knowledge in order to kind of see that not everybody learns the same way.
Mhm.
Not everybody receives the same way. And I think that's going to be a great benefit to mediums who may be coming in going, why haven't I been able to learn before? Because you're giving a much broader uh, view of how that can look. So bravo. Good
Thank
job.
you.
And
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed
I,
your
I
platform.
I think maybe that's also part of why I was chosen because number one, I don't have a dog in the fight, right? It's not like I've been a medium for 50 years. It's not like I grew up under a certain school of mediumship. It's not, none of that, right? But also that I learned in running large corporations that the way to get the best out of your team is to nurture their individual talent, you know, and to make sure that they're always getting productive, useful feedback in a way that is nurturing and helpful and helps them learn and grow. So when Spirit asked me to do those things, I'm like, yeah, that fits.
And it's great for people who are just getting their toes wet to be with other mediums because mediums are generous to other mediums, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and then to ramp up those skill sets. The way you've done it is really beautiful and I think highly successful. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sally. Thank you. And Gloria.
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation today. And thank you for answering when Spirit directed and for setting it up and listening and doing all this. It's just, I'm blown away. Like Wendy said, I'm just blown away. And I wanted to ask you, because I'm not familiar with this, is this something that's entirely on your platform? Do you use, how are they meeting? Is it on Zoom, by phone, all of the above?
We use Zoom. That is the one outside vendor that we use. When we first launched, we cobbled together different systems to get our first prototype up and running, but it was really clunky and it wasn't serving some of the special needs that mediums have and that clients have. And so while we used that clunky platform, we developed our own. So we have a license-free platform right now, which is awesome because the clunky version was going to cost like $250,000 a month. Yeah, it was going to be crazy. So we developed our own because we said, if Spirit says it's got to be 10,000 mediums and we're going to do 1 million sessions, we cannot be paying a per person fee. We just can't. It's got to be something that can scale easily. So yeah, but Zoom is the add-on. Every medium comes to the table with a Zoom account, but they can use a free Zoom account for most of it up until they start working with clients.
Thank you. And I was just going to mention, I've participated in the past in groups in Europe where they do have groups of mediums who would demonstrate at a certain time of the day. And I think if you haven't made contact with some of those, they'd be a great resource. And I don't have the information right here, but it's mostly through the spiritualist groups.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you could forward that on, that would be great. Yeah, my email is just Sally@verysoul.com.
Okay.
Super easy. Yeah. Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Sally. This is so very interesting, and I 100% agree with Sally Taylor, who was saying how the platform has been created. It needs somebody who has that linear thought process because most of the mediums, when we're in that creative mode, we're very circular, and it's really hard to do our business as well as the others. So that is absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. Real excited to check you out.
And for me, it's the opposite, right? That's why I wasn't as easily a natural medium. That's why mediumship came harder to me, because I am not as artistic. I'm not as free flowing.
Well, even as artistic as many of us are, that ego just wants to control things so much. And I'm constantly dealing with kicking it back to the corner. It's hard. It's really hard.
Regina, I'm doing the same thing in building this. So at any point in time, just like any other business, like we get poked at, we have things that, don't work quite right, or things that go wrong, et cetera, et cetera. My old corporate Sally wants to come into play sometimes, and I got to swat her back and say, go sit with your team, go, meditate a little bit, think about how we're going to deal with this first. Because spirit does help a lot, even along the way. They bring a lot of ideas, they bring a lot of connections, and they bring a lot of resources. So I just have to remind myself, be patient. You don't know, you can't see the full picture. You may think XYZ is going wrong, but then if I sit back and I just pause for a minute, I watch it and I'm like, oh no, they did that purposely. I see what happened.
Yeah, very, very, very true. They did that purposely, or they allowed it purposely,
Yes.
so that we would have this experience of learning. Machi, your hand is up.
Hi, yes, hi. Thank you so much, Sally. What a wonderfully inspiring session this is. I signed up for VerySoul maybe a year or two ago, but I'm just a beginning medium, and I thought maybe before I actually jumped full in, I needed to get my my speed going a little more. But hearing you talk about the outreach and the actual practice stages of the community, I am already registered. How do I get into that, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can just log back in and get started. And if you need some help learning, I don't know if you were on the old system or if you were on the new system, but your email address is in our new system either way.
Yeah.
And so you have an account. But if you try signing back in and you have any trouble getting back in, you can simply send an email to support@verysoul.com.
Beautiful.
And my support team will not only help you get up and running in terms of getting access again, but they'll walk you through and train you on how to use the system.
Okay.
Because we've added a lot of new features probably since you were there 2 years ago. I know it can be intimidating when people first come, and we have some work to do on making it, doing more onboarding sessions and things like that, so mediums aren't so timid about jumping in.
Oh, I wouldn't use my example as questioning you for onboarding. I'm just a chicken sometimes. So, but my second point is, I approached mediumship through the healing arts, and I wonder if you outreaching to different types of healers and schools, like the Barbara Brennan School, and the different approaches, the acupuncture schools, the even osteopathy. It might be a way because it's the extension, right? And as you say, and as we know, once you understand this, you see everything completely differently. And to have that confidence without ego, to have that surety that this is possible, it's just a lovely combination. It's a lovely neighbor, the healing arts and the mediumship.
Yeah, we've started to do a little bit of that, but we need to do more. And the way we approach that is we go to those places and we offer their practitioners the session.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, got it.
Of course, we'd like them to also offer to their clients, and we create flyers for that. But let's start with the practitioners. I do the same with grief support groups. I go to the leaders of those grief support groups and say, we can provide so much service, but why don't we start with you? Why don't you come have a session?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
There is the machi, which is interesting, and this will get better over time. I can already sense that it's a little bit easier, but there's so much concern about scammers. There's so much concern about, at least in the US, we have these 1-800 psychic, network things where you get your first 10 minutes free and then they charge you $10 a minute after that. There's so many gamey things that people are reluctant to trust. And
yes.
So, we're building credibility one person at a time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And spirits behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Machi. Ellen.
Behind, in front of, in top of, underneath. What do you think, Sally?
Ellen, you are a warrior.
I just love how I feel about the platform. You know how I feel. And some of the conversations we've had, one of them I recall when we were on the phone, and I heard this profound silence where you were just sitting in the silence as I was telling you the story, and you were just blown away at what Spirit had done. And I don't even remember what the circumstance was, but I imagine that that's one of your big gifts off and on, is to get whoa, like that happened.
Every day, Ellen. I mean, first of all, every day I start my day reading the client feedback online, mainly because I want to make sure nothing went wrong, right? Or if something went wrong, that we're on top of it, we do something. But mostly what I get to read is love, 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 impact, joy, this changed my life, yada, yada, yada. And I share some of those with the mediums as well. But yeah, the stories of the synchronicities and the just incredible things that are happening, it's just amazing.
Well, I also want to mention something that you didn't really talk about that I think has been really profound in my development. And as I'm in, for the people who don't know, I'm in the outreach. I'm one of the outreach mediums, and I go through these periods of hitting some speed bumps and bumping my head and then having to go. But all of it is so clearly intentional from my point of view. But the thing that VerySoul also offers, which Sally didn't talk about, but I think is so critical, is first of all, the culture of the mediums, particularly the professional mediums who are on the platform, is so generous. They are so generous. And so the platform also has set up group coaching sessions so that those of us who are on a speed bump have an opportunity for free to go and sit in with the professional medium at a particular time that we can choose and go in and set up that thing. Recently, we've started doing group practice sessions. The platform offers group practice sessions, and those of us who are at the outreach level and above can run them. And I've been running them and having a blast with that. I'm just enjoying the heck out of that. And then they're also offering now, Sally's also offering to the professional mediums to do group coaching practice sessions, which is a nominal fee to actually get coached as we're doing readings. So there are these opportunities also on the platform to continue to grow and develop our skills without having necessarily to pay for a class. And I just wanted to mention that, Sally, because I think even though it's not really a training platform, I've had, and as you probably know, I'm taking classes from one of the professional mediums now, a series of classes to help with my development, that are paid and separate from VerySoul, but I'm meeting through that platform people who I can resonate with and who can guide me in growing. I found a home there. I love it there. As you know, this is one of my favorite things.
Thanks for bringing that up, Ellen. It's your generosity has been amazing, and the generosity of mediums like you in terms of turning around and helping other mediums open-heartedly. It's fantastic. You know, when we first launched VerySoul, there was very quick backlash from some communities of professional mediums, not a lot, but some, where they were worried about, well, who would own the client data? And, you know, I don't want to share my client list and yada, 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 or things like that. And I would say, no one's trying to own the clients. Like number one, we don't own the clients, but number two, there are 9 billion potential clients around the world. Like if you approach this work from the sense of scarcity and competitiveness, then yeah, it's going to be a drag. But if you approach it from, you know, in a really heartfelt place and you realize this isn't about us, this is about the big us, not me, you know? And so we tend to attract those kinds of mediums, which makes it a very natural, beautiful community.
Sounds
Amy I think Amy has a question. Is her hand up?
It was, yes.
Hi,
Yeah.
Amy.
Hi. Okay. First, I wanted to say my very first reading was a VerySoul reading, and I have a very unusual, and I am told by Cheryl Page I should never say bizarre, a very crazy story, and I'm not sure that that VerySoul reading didn't save my life. It was like, and I'm still, anyways, it was amazing. I'm hoping that reading got cut off in the middle. My phone died. And then I was never able to reach that medium again. So one, I was wondering, is there some way I can reconnect with that medium? But then the other main reason I raised my hand is I was wondering, do you need volunteers? I am a marketing type person, and I've been kind of looking for service work. Yeah. I'm not a medium. I don't plan to be a medium. I have a very big story, and I'm stuck with y'all here. Like, I'm here, and I don't know what my job is, but I actually have some skills in the things that you're looking for. And so
that would be amazing.
Should I just email you?
Yeah, so it's sally@verysoul.com. Email me about both things. Email me the name of the medium that you were working with, and about, you know, we should get together and talk.
I don't know her name.
No, but I know her name. I'll look on the system.
Okay.
But the one thing that I would encourage you to consider, and I encourage all clients to consider this, no matter how much we try to educate clients, that there are many talented mediums. Once they have a profound experience with one, they think that is the one magical, mystical person in the world, right? And they'll follow them till the ends of the earth. And we do not encourage that. We don't, I don't get in the way of somebody coming back to Medium because I don't want to hurt anyone's business. But we are trying to educate clients to help them know that there is not just one magical, mystical person, and mediums should not be put on a platform in terms of being held in some kind of reverence. We're just
really, I see that all over in places. I wanted to reconnect. The reading was cut off, and without telling this sort of complicated story, it was a very strange reading. The medium was confused. She thought she was messing up. I was looking at her like, have you lost your mind? She was embarrassed. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
I can help you. I can help you get reconnected, Amy.
Thank you. But
okay. Just email me.
Yeah, I'll email you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Gloria?
Yes, another question. Has Spirit given you any hints on what's next or where you're going?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have. And some of it I can't disclose.
Oh, you can disclose.
Well, I can disclose that I told you the 10,000 and I told you 1 million, that will serve 1 million clients. I know that we will be fully operational multi languages. So right now our system is all in English, but that is not going to be enough very soon. So we've built it with the intention to be able to translate it to multiple languages. I know that eventually VerySoul will be doing more than mediumship, but I also know that mediumship, evidential mediumship in particular, is the pathway to credibility, is the way that provides proof. And so, I'm often asked by mediums and other people, well, why can't we do energy healing here? Or why can't we do, psychic work here? Or why can't we, all that stuff? It's a strategy, and it makes perfect sense because this is one point of proof. And it also has made it more manageable because, as anyone knows who's been in business, when you try to offer too many services or too many products, that's the best way to kill your business, right? So we need this thing to be stable. We need it to grow. We need it to proliferate, and we need it to be trusted. And so if we can do that with one service, very complex service and a very cool service and a profoundly life-changing service, then that would be a success. But yeah, there's a lot more ahead.
Just a quick comment to that, Sally. I agree absolutely that it's so, particularly in this day and age when life is so complex, to keep things as simple and focused as possible.
Yeah, thank you.
Automobile manufacturers are now learning they have to get back to tactile buttons and switches.
Yeah.
Back off of the touch screens. I mean, that is one little example of that. And things have to get back to not only a more human-centered point, but also, I mean, we were in such overwhelm, much of it for no reason at all. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for that one insight. It's so important, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, I know for me, like this one little tool right here, this can do about 10,000 times more things than my brain can do with it. So, they developed all these abilities, capabilities, but my brain is still texting and using Facebook and using email.
Jen White, you have a question?
I've got a comment just about VerySoul and Sally. I don't know when she sleeps, just to give the group some feedback about Sally, but she's known to be so accessible and personable and passionate about VerySoul. And it's certainly, I've been there 12 months on Thursday, and it's certainly changed and enriched my life incredibly. The people I've met, the people I've helped, the people I've, the thoughts. But yeah, I just wanted to say to people that she gives it everything she's got, and she is so accessible. It's extraordinary.
Thank you. Can
The
I
other,
just add before you go on? I did not mention that I have an amazing team too, and I want to give credit to the team because every person on my team is just as passionate about what we're doing and our mission as I am. So go ahead, Jen.
yeah, I'm sure. The other thing I just notes, I thought the thing in this group, the healing that goes on the spiritual side with the platform as well. As a medium and mixing with so many and having done so many readings, the spirit world is healing because of this platform. That's my take on it. I can't believe the healing that goes on, that has particularly gone on for me, but I know the mediums I've met and the discussions I've had away from the platform, that's what's going on too. So it's like this beautiful web, as I've said to Sally before, across the planet. And yeah, my heart's beating. Thank you.
It's literally, and I can say this with no shame, it's a brilliant design. It's a brilliant design. It accomplishes so many things.
Extraordinary. Thanks, Sally.
Thank you, Jen.
Sally,
How fabulous, Sally, that you were the recipient for the message, so that because they already had chosen you, they knew what you could do, Spirit did, and you were willing.
They timed it right. They timed it right because if they had hit me 10 years earlier, I would. Number one, I probably wouldn't have even noticed it. Number two, I definitely would not have said yes. So they knew what they were doing.
They do. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, so excited for you. How do you earn support for the financial support for the platform?
Right now, we don't. Right now, we're just doing, like the deal with Spirit was they will take care of it. And so it's been a complete trust exercise. And as resources are needed, resources are found. A lot of volunteers. Yeah, I guess, that's a daily conversation that I have with my team, right? Okay. Well, we're ready. We're ready. But it's an important thing. It's not that we don't talk about revenue generating ideas, but there aren't that many that wouldn't mess up the platform, wouldn't mess up the intention of the platform. So, for instance, even just charging a small amount for what's now a free session would count out a lot of the population that comes because they don't have a payment method. They live on cash. They live paycheck to paycheck. They barely have a bank account, so we can't do that. And I don't think we want to do that. And that was not in the design from Spirit.
You, Sally, you must have some fixed costs for your platform and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How do you manage? How do you manage with that? Do you have donors who volunteer to contribute, or grants, or?
Yeah, we had some startup funds, and we just managed very, very carefully. I worked for a large bank that was constantly cutting budgets, and so I know how to build so that you don't have to cut. So, for instance, I have a very talented team of technology team in India. And I had already had a lot of experience of working with technology teams in India where the costs are significantly less. But finding the right people, picking the right people, and then managing those budgets very carefully is what we're doing. But yeah, I mean, we're still we're definitely open to funding. Definitely open to funding.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh,
Uh,
Ellen, you have your hand up?
Yeah,
Sorry, Dan.
Sally, could you talk a little bit about your advisory group? Because you have a pretty outstanding group of advisors who are part of the Very Soul platform. And I've always been curious how you work together and how they help you in this endeavor.
Yeah, so I have 4 strategic advisors, um, 3 of whom are mediums, and one of whom's not a medium. One of them is a woman named Lenore Vassal. She's a chief technology officer. She ran a big part of rework technology, and I worked with her in technology in Bank of America. She's done startups. So she's an important advisor from a technology perspective and from a startup perspective. The 3 medium advisors that I have Jackie Wright, who is the chairman of the Arthur Findlay College and the president of the SNU. I get confused SNUI and but SNU, at least in the UK. And an amazing medium and an amazing mediumship teacher. I also have Suzanne Giesman, who is a spiritual leader here in the United States and an amazing medium as well. And she's been doing a lot of work on a global basis to help educate people and to help even people who don't want to be mediums find their spiritual connections. And then I have Colleen Byram, who is a medium who was running a large Facebook group of mediums starting 8 years ago. But more importantly, Colleen had very large business experience building a very large global startup. And so her advice has been invaluable because she has both the mediumship understanding, she's advised mediums, she's coached mediums, but she also had a ton of business experience. So those strategic advisors are available to me as needed for anything. So for instance, when as we were developing and kind of running into where to put the guardrails on certain topics, I would sit with my team, get that download, and then run it by my strategic advisors to say, does this make sense to you? Do you think I'm interpreting this correctly? Because I still don't think I'm a perfect channel. I don't, I'm not flawless. So I just like to bounce things off of both sides in the teams. And those strategic advisors, as well as another group of mediums beyond that, professional mediums beyond that, they also served very early on with bringing credibility to this effort so that mediums could know that they could trust it. But also, they had my back, so they were eyes and ears on the ground trying to hear, is anything going wrong? Is anything, is just helping me get this launch smoothly. And I really, really appreciate that. So they're there for me, Ellen, any day that I need them, whenever I need them.
I want to make a comment. I love that you have that advisory team. I want to make a comment. I don't think you're noticing the chat, but there's somebody who's also wanting to make donations, contributions, and wanting to know how to do that. Can you respond to that, Sally?
Yeah, fantastic. So you can either email me at sally@verysoul.com and I can send you information about how, where you can send that specifically, or depending on the amount and how you want to do that, we have right on our website, we have a pay it forward button. And that pay it forward button, we use Stripe as a processor, but that transaction has a credit card fee and stuff like that. So, but if if you want to give it from a foundation or something like that, just reach out to me at sally@verysoul.com. And that's very thoughtful of you. I really appreciate that. and I don't consider this a one-time conversation, guys. So VerySoul is going to be around for a very long time. So if your connections start hitting you up and saying, "Oh, you should connect VerySoul to this," or maybe we could use VerySoul for that, or whatever, I'm open to any conversation and all conversations because we've now built this platform. I do want it to get the biggest play that it can in terms of, helping the world. So and I don't think I have all the answers.
Ellen, this is a little bit of a cross conversation, but Ellen, you're in Whidbey Island. Are you at all close to Stephen Schwartz?
I don't know. I
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I don't know Stephen Schwartz. What's the reference, Dan?
Well, I'm just in connection with this kind of work in general. He spells his name Stefan with Stephan, if that's helpful.
Does he do demonstrations, mediumship demonstrations? Because
he publishes a daily kind of newsletter. Some of it's political, some of it's. He also teaches remote viewing.
Oh, okay.
Part of that community. So
No, I don't. Is he up here, Dan? Is that what you were
he
asking?
lives in Whidbey Island. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'd love to meet him if you could facilitate that.
I'll see if I can connect you guys. Anyway, just I'm wondering if through his mailing list and everything, it could be helpful to VerySoul's work. Anyway, I'll connect. If you can put your email address in the chat, I'll get.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
Thank you.
That's not the same. Stephen Schwartz. I was thinking that's not the cell phone guy, right? No, that's
No. That's Gary Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing that I forgot to mention. So when we built the platform, we built it understanding that it would be used for research as well. And at the time, I reached out to the major mediumship research people that I knew about in the world. Wendy, I didn't know about you, so I apologize. And I offered for them to influence how we were structuring surveys or collecting data and things like that so that we could have the most useful data coming out the back end of this thing for research purposes. So I'm completely open to anything in that direction that allows us to maintain privacy for people, obviously.
I think as soon as the recording of today's session is up, there'll be a link, of course, where you can send people, because your presentation has been invaluable in putting the whole thing into context.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's anything but a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
And the dedication and the time that's gone into it and the cooperation and everything. So that as soon as Wendy has the link up, that would be a good resource.
We'll get it up
for
very
you.
soon. And I'd like to partner with you, Sally. We'll be promoting it indefinitely with the Friday Afterlife report.